Hey guys. Well, it is nearly 2 a.m. I have successfully moved out of the Airbnb, packed my bags, and I am on my way back to Scotland in the morning. It's a long trip. It's like 4 hops. I'm going San Jose to Chicago to Dublin to Edinburgh to home. As a lot of you know, it's been a little bit of a riff trip for me. Um, but I leave feeling really good about the people who I got to meet, and we have a pretty exciting way forward for VR. I'm definitely wrecked. I'll be glad to get back into the swing of things. And once I sort my neck out, I hope I'll be the bouncy bunny that you know, you all deserve, and I certainly deserve at this stage. I feel like I put my heart and soul into a lot of this stuff, and sometimes, like this morning, which is the last day of Oculus Connect, I just didn't feel good. So sometimes, I think sometimes it's okay to kind of just be open with people, and they're like, "Hey, how you doing?" I'm like, "I'm not doing well." I feel like I'm gonna have to find my feet again. I'm not really sure what I'm doing. At one stage I was like really. I mean, Twitch was easy for me because it was obvious. It was live streaming. It was content that was relatively limited. You didn't have much choice, but now you have so much choice. It's like, do I play more Quest and try to get that looking great? You know, um, PSVR is kind of muddy at best. As much as I love the games and playing them, I'm not sure it's the best to watch. And then, of course, there's Rift S, which 1/3 of the time gives me a black screen. I have to replug my HDMI, and that just, on top of everything else, kind of stresses me out. I'd like to be super positive about all this, but it's hard. I feel really good about F Reality. Um, but even that's tough. That's got its own road bumps and things that get in the way. I mean, this is all life. I'm not complaining. I'm a fish. I'm just an exhausted fish sometimes. Swim upstream, keep going, take on the challenges, and just fucking beat them. I mean, there's so many cool games coming out. I want to make a game with Karen again. I really do. I really do. I don't want to take any pauses or delays. I just want to work on that. Uh, Something that John Hibbins said to me, which I really appreciated. We were just sitting in the hot tub in Wine County, in this Airbnb that he rented for the group, and he said, "You do realize now is it. You don't get another chance. So whatever you're gonna do it." And that honestly resonated with me like friggin' death knell. It just echoed, made me really unsettled. And as I contemplate moving, my whole family over to Edinburgh, which I hope we achieve this year, before the end of the year, I keep splitting myself between all these things I'm doing. Got a corporate career, got the family, got this stuff. I'm terrible at keeping in touch with, my family. I don't know my brother anymore. It's, and I don't know if, when I ask myself the question, I used to say, well, I just don't care. I've got enough. I've, I have, I have limited energy to put into people. And if it's not coming back the other way, you know what I mean? Like, if it's dead ending, I have a really, really, like, cold approach to that. If I don't see value in another person, I generally stop. I don't have time for it. And then I've got the whole debacle between Karen, my wife, and my mom, and that's just been a problem for a while. And I've got my kids. I feel like I don't see them enough, but I think that's a permanent feeling. I'm really lucky for what I do. It's a good paying job. I'm passionate about, I'm good at. I just need a change, I think. I don't know. I mean, it's not like it's not a struggle, but sometimes I want more of a struggle. I want more of a reset button. And I try to reset with like my content creation too. And every time I see other creators, I feel really good about their stuff that they're creating and they're making. But this internal measurement stick, it's so demanding and damning at the same time, and it just it's very exhausting to feel like my wings are clipped sometimes. And I want to create stuff that I'm really passionate about. And I don't necessarily want to play to the algorithm. And I know that's not smart, right? I know that's not being smart. And I know it's a popularity contest. And I know I should fall in line and do all the fucking bollocks that everybody does to get ahead in that race. But while it's not my money line, I look at it artistically and I go what do I want to do? You know what I mean? How do I want to share? A lot of new creators ask me this trip, for tips about streaming, how to break into streaming. And other tips for success. And there's a few simple ones. One of them is you have to pick out a unique selling point. What makes you you? I also think it's really important to create content that you would consume. If you're making a game, make a game you would play. If you're an artist, make a painting you would love to have in your house. And if you're a content creator, create something you would watch yourself and be entertained by. And be honest with yourself when you're not entertaining. I'm happy that I've gotten to the end of this video series of the California trip. And it's leading up to something. I normally, at the end of my big trips, is I summarize, I get together with people on the live stream and I go through all my photos and videos and stuff and I summarize what happened. Give you kind of like a trip synopsis so that you feel like you were on the trip with me. Because these little videos that I've done each day, as much as that's been a kind of a fun activity and a new challenge for me, and that's what I was looking for in it, sharing the details of the trip with you and my excitement, all in one consolidated little lump is something that I used to do on Twitch and I will continue to do on YouTube for these trips. So probably Sunday is, because I'm landing on Saturday, Sunday night is probably when I'll get a chance to do that if I'm not too shattered. And then I'll go through all that stuff. I actually filled up my iPhone. I had to go deleting some WhatsApp messages to make more space. But I just want to reiterate. There are up days and there are down days. And this year has been a particularly hard year. We started the year really on Christmas. And Karen gave me this really cryptic piece of artwork that I eventually worked out was a picture from a pregnancy test. And it was that she was pregnant. And I was really happy because she always wanted a third kid. But within a week, she miscarried. And it was only a couple of weeks later that I realized why that happened. So the whole family got the norovirus and felt like incredibly sick in January. I had it 2 full times, and then I got shingles, and I didn't just get shingles on my back or something like that. I got shingles in Manland. Very painful, and also annoying, because you look at yourself and you go like, oh my God, how did I get because it ends up looking like some kind of STD or something. So I got checked out with the docs and stuff, and it's like, no, that's not what it is. It's shingles because your immune system's so fucking low that you're getting killed. But like, that was January, right? Not a happy January. And then the year has been tough, and Karen's had low times because of the whole environment that we live in, and I'm trying desperately to get her out of the country, but it's hard. It's been a hard year. And then I had to leave Twitch because it just 2 years bashing my head against the wall. No growth. Literally zero growth, right? In 2 years. You guys don't know how hard that is. I mean, I'm not a numbers guy. I'm really not a numbers guy. And I've said that before. I don't give a damn if I'm growing. That's not my metric. My metric that I care about is if even 1 or 2 people come along, enjoy the show, and give me some positive feedback. And that I, when rewatching the show, think I've done a good job, and I can feel it on a good stream. God damn, it's like fucking, it's adrenaline that you run on. Put on a good show, you know? At the end of the night, you're just fist pumping yourself and going like, yeah, man. That's why I do it. It's not the total numbers. I don't care about that. And I care about sharing an opinion. I grew up with really opinionated parents, particularly my mom. And I feel like I've turned that into something really positive. You know? Like, I critique games and I help developers get it right and think about things they never thought about before. And that, for me, is really, it's a really important thing. I recently had the privilege of working on a project that's not yet announced. And it's like with one of those, legends of the industry. And they listened to me. Why? Because I've done about 1,000 VR games and I've critiqued them all. And I've got all that experience and, I know what feels right and what doesn't feel right. And there's other people who play VR games and they know the same thing. But they picked me to be on the inside fold of that project. I'm so excited about it. I just want to play the game that they're launching. And I hope it launches next month into early access. But again, I can't talk about it. But I'm so excited. I really am. I know I'm a beaten soul, right? I am a beaten soul right now. But I have to tell you, nothing stopped me this far. That's one thing I'm good at. Push through pain. I know my brother's good at that too. I hope he's happy. I hope he's having a great time. And I hope he's not too disappointed that, his older brother doesn't consider that relationship maybe worth salvaging at this point. I don't know who he is anymore, I know some of his tendencies, but there's always that annoyance where you go back to an old town or something and your friends know you for who you were, not who you are. And you're like always held to that account. I don't really want to do that to him. He's his own dude now. He's done great achievements in his life. He survived a nasty bike accident. And he's a strong guy. And he's a dad now. And that's great. I know what it's like to be a dad. It's the best thing. Oh, it's fucking great. I miss my family. I'm going to be glad to be back with them. I hope this trip doesn't test me more because of all the hops going out. I don't know. I've been seesawing, guys. I mean, I'm usually pretty happy guy. But this fucking nerve issue in my neck, constant pain, and it doesn't go away, and I try painkillers and it doesn't do anything. I try a hot press, it doesn't do anything. I haven't tried a cold press yet. I'm going to try that when I get home. It's just this nagging sharpness and but I'm going to keep persevering because it's what I want to do. And I will continue to push through this, and I will listen to my body, and I will do all the smart things I can to make it better. And I will sleep more. I've been sleeping more. Karen got on my case about it earlier in the year. I was keeping a sleep log, and I am embarrassed at that sleep log. It was like a month of going to bed at 3 and 4 in the morning. You know what I mean? Like, my average sleep was like 2:30 maybe. Like, that was my normal go-to-bed time, which is, like, not good. I don't know, like, for me, like, why am I sharing this stuff with you guys? There's a lot of personal stuff, right? Sitting here in my hotel. Thank you to Facebook again, and Oculus teams for flying me out. A few people have said it to me, you know. They're like, wow, people know, you know, they know who you are, they know your face, and, you know, you've been around and all this kind of stuff. And yeah, I have. Cared about my brand and made sure I stood out from the crowd. But I'm not popular. A lot of people from F Reality are like, dude, you're my favorite part of that. And that's nice. I mean, look, if you have any misgivings or bad feelings about the other 4 lads, you know, and I'll say out of the 4, like, I usually hear a lot of flack about Nathy. I want you to know that in my expert professional opinion, Mike, Nathy, and Rowdy are some of the most upstanding business people who I know in this game. They're doing what they do to expand and stay alive and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, I'll be completely honest. When I first got into it, I was pretty suspicious about a few things, rumors I'd heard and all that kind of stuff. But I'll tell you, Nathan's a good guy. I mean, he's still a kid. Sorry, man. And that gloss, that sheen of, like, I can do anything hasn't come off him. And I don't fault him for that. I'm really glad he's been driving forward with such entrepreneurial flame. And Mike's got it too, with his, like, exquisitely diamond-crafted tech review videos. He really is the VR tested guy, you know, and he's gonna make it. So's Nathy. Nathy stands out, and he's got this walk about him and this funky air. Him and his feckin' shoes, man. He and his brother dress so well. They really do. I mean, I think his brother probably dresses more consistently well in my eye, and Nathy's got his own thing. He's on his own planet. I like